Based on my research, let us start with number 10, the WOW signal. On August 15, 1977, astronomer Jerry Emmon was checking papers from the Big Air Radio Telescope at Ohio State University. The observatory spent years looking for very specific radio waves. These are the kinds of signals experts think alien worlds might send to us. Most nights they heard only random static. But on that August night, he saw a pattern of numbers and letters so strange that he drew a red circle around it. He wrote just one word next to it. Wow! The signal lasted for 72 seconds. This is the exact amount of time the telescope listens to one spot in the sky as the Earth spins. The pitch of the signal was exactly 1,420 megahertz. This is the natural sound of hydrogen. Hydrogen is the most common stuff in space. I know that scientists always believed smart aliens would use this exact pitch to talk across the stars. This signal was 30 times louder than the normal space static. It came from the area of the Sagittarius stars. It came from a blank space where there are no stars and no planets. There is nothing there that could make that sound. The scariest part about the WOW signal is what happened after that. Absolutely nothing happened. I read that scientists pointed every telescope they had at that empty dark spot. They listened for weeks and then months and then decades. The signal never played again. We never heard a sound that's strong or clear from that spot ever again. For 48 years we have only heard silence from the place where something spoke to us one time. Every normal reason people came up with has fallen apart. One theory in 2017 said, the sound came from gas clouds around two comets flying by. Math proved this wrong a few months later. Those kinds of gas clouds cannot make a loud and focused sound like that. It was not radio noise from Earth because the shape of the sound was wrong. It was not a satellite because that exact pitch is strictly blocked from being used by humans. I found that every single normal answer has been crossed off the list. The only thing left is a clear message lasting 72 seconds. It came from a totally empty patch of space. It used the exact pitch I would expect smart aliens to use. We heard it once, and we never explained it. Math shows that random space static cannot make a sound that perfect. Something out there made it. Something picked that exact pitch. Something aimed it right at Earth for 72 seconds in August of 1977. Then it went totally quiet. I do not have any way to truly understand what happened that night. I just know for sure that it happened. Number 9. The missing antimatter. Based on my research about the rules of science, the Big Bang should have made the exact same amount of normal matter and antimatter 13.8 billion years ago. When normal stuff and anti-stuff touch each other, they wipe each other out entirely. They turn into pure flash and energy. If the young universe had an equal mix of both, they should have burned each other up in less than 1 second. They should have left absolutely nothing behind except a flash of light expanding into the dark forever. But that is not what happened. You and I are here. Stars are real. Whole galaxies are out there. Our universe is made almost totally of normal matter. We only find tiny specks of antimatter made by space rays and decaying rocks. In the very beginning of time, for every 1 billion pieces of antimatter, there was 1,000,000,001 pieces of normal matter. That one extra piece out of a billion is the whole reason that I am alive and you are alive. That extra piece built everything we see and touch today. I cannot explain why things were uneven. Scientists have looked for decades to figure out what tipped the scale. Huge underground machines have smashed tiny pieces of matter together trillions of times. They wanted to find a deep difference between normal matter and antimatter to explain the heavy side of the scale. They did find some differences, but it was not enough. Their answer only covers a tiny drop in the bucket. The whole rest of the mystery is completely unsolved. The most disturbing part of this is what it means for the basic rules of our world. Something deep inside the very first moments of time broke a rule of balance that should never be broken. Either my understanding of basic science is totally wrong, or something stepped in during the first trillionth of a second. Something made sure the universe would be filled with solid stuff instead of pure empty dark. I do not know which answer is true. I only know that without that strange tilt toward normal matter, I would not be here to talk about it. You are breathing right now because something broke the rules of the universe, and we do not know what it was. Number 8. The Great Attractor. Based on my research, Scientists in 1973 saw something very weird about how our galaxy moves. The Milky Way was not just floating outward like the rest of the universe. It was being pulled. Our galaxy and hundreds of thousands of other galaxies were being dragged toward one single spot in deep space. We are falling toward it at roughly 600 kilometers every second. Something huge is dragging a massive chunk of the visible universe toward itself. Nobody had any clue what it was. People named this spot the Great Attractor. It is sitting about 250 million light-years away from us It is sitting far away in the direction of the Centaurus and Hydra stars. The amount of gravity needed to pull us like this is terrifying. It is equal to the weight of tens of thousands of whole galaxies squished into one single area. Whatever is hiding at that spot is one of the biggest things in the whole known universe. The big problem is that I simply cannot look at it. The Great Attractor is hiding behind a wall of thick dust and gas and stars from our own galaxy. Staring toward the Great Attractor from our planet is like trying to see a mountain hidden in thick fog. Our own Milky Way blocks the view. It hides the massive monster that is dragging us through space at wild speed. The scariest part of this mystery is what I learned recently. In 2016, scientists found something even bigger pulling on the Great Attractor itself. This new giant is called the Shapley concentration. It is another 500 million light-years further away. It is pulling the Great Attractor and everything else toward It is pulling everything toward a much heavier center of gravity. We are not just falling toward one dark object. We are falling toward a dark object that is falling toward an even bigger dark object. The rabbit hole goes into places I cannot even map. If this second giant is being pulled by a third one, the chain goes on forever into giant shapes we can never see. Our Milky Way has over 400 billion stars and maybe many alien worlds, but all of us are just tiny passengers floating in a deep river flowing toward a totally hidden finish line. No machine built by humans can see where we are going. I know we are moving really fast. I just do not know where. Number 7. Fast radio bursts. On July 24, 2001, a giant radio dish in Australia caught a flash of energy. It lasted just 5 milliseconds. But in that tiny moment, it blasted out as much power as our sun makes in 3 whole days. This flash came from far outside our galaxy. It was so far away that the flash traveled through space for billions of years before hitting Earth. I know of nothing in the universe that could have. Nothing in the universe could have naturally made it. At first, people thought it was just a broken machine and forgot about it for 6 years. In 2007, a scientist named Duncan Lorimer looked at the old files again. He realized the flash was completely real. Something out in deep dark space had blasted a massive amount of power in a split second and then went silent. Since that day, big dishes have caught hundreds of these wild flashes. We call them fast radio bursts. Every single one acts the same way. It is a crazy loud flash of radio light that lasts milliseconds. It releases more energy than our sun makes over many decades. These flashes pop up from random spots all over the sky with no clear pattern. Based on my research, the weirdest thing about these fast radio bursts is that we have zero clue what makes them. People guess they might come from dead stars with scary strong magnets. They call those magnetars. Or maybe from black holes crashing together. Or maybe tiny ancient black holes boiling away. But none of these guesses fit all the clues. Some flashes happen one time and never again. Other spots flash over and over again from the exact same. They flash from the same exact spot in a rhythm that looks almost like math. In 2020, scientists finally caught a fast radio burst coming from right inside our own Milky Way galaxy. It was the first one we ever found so close to home. The flash came from a highly magnetic dead star. This made people think the dead star theory was totally right. However, the power of this local flash was terribly weak compared to the giant ones from deep space. If these magnetic dead stars really do make the flashes, they cannot make the giant ones we see coming from outside our galaxy. Something else is happening far out in deep space. Something is shooting out massive blasts of energy that crush anything our local space can make. I simply do not have a good answer for what it could be. Number 6, the cold spot. In 2004, scientists were looking at space maps from a special probe. They found a giant patch of sky that should not be there. The faint glow left over from the Big Bang is normally very smooth across the entire visible universe. There are small ripples from spot to spot, but those ripples fit perfectly into The ripples fit perfectly into the rules of how the early universe grew up. Everything fits perfectly except for one huge place. This place is called the cold spot. It sits in the southern half of the sky and stretches roughly 1.8 billion light-years across. Its temperature is significantly colder than the warm space glow all around it. This dip in heat is so completely extreme that the chances of it happening by random luck are less than 1 in 1,000. Something powerful carved out a giant chunk of space that is totally different from everything around it. I do not know what did it. One guess was that the cold spot is just a huge empty bubble with no galaxies inside it. A big empty bubble could trick the light passing through it and make it look colder. But newer space maps in 2015 and 2017 proved there was no empty bubble big enough to do that. Whatever made the cold spot, it was not just empty space. Based on my research, the most shocking part about the cold spot is the wild theory that refuses to die. Some scientists believe the cold spot is the leftover scar from a crash. They think our universe crashed into another totally different universe. In this idea, many universes float around and sometimes bump into each other as they grow. That heavy crash leaves a giant permanent stamp on the background glow of space. If this idea is right, the cold spot is literally a cosmic bruise. It is a dent left on our reality when we smashed into a parallel world. I cannot prove this wild idea is true, but I also cannot prove it is wrong. What I can say for sure is that there is a patch of space 1.8 billion light-years across that breaks all the rules. Every normal answer has completely failed to explain it. The idea that we crashed into another universe is still a real scientific option. You live in a universe that might carry a giant scar from hitting something totally outside of our reality. Number 5. Boyajian star. On October 14, 2015, astronomer Tabitha Boyajian wrote a paper about the most bizarre star anyone has ever seen. The star is officially named KIC 8462852. It is sitting 1,470 light-years away in the Cygnus stars. Based on my research, the star was turning dark in ways that no normal space event could ever cause. Over a few years, a space telescope watched the star drop up to 22% of its glowing light. It happened in random sudden dips. Normally, when a planet flies in front of a star, it blocks 1% of the light at most. Something blocking 22% of a star means it is blocking a space as huge as hundreds of giant planets. The dark flashes did not follow any set schedule. They happened totally at random. They lasted for completely different amounts of time and blocked different amounts of light. I know that no normal rule of stars could explain what the cameras saw. Besides the random flashes of dark, the entire star was also slowly fading away over time. Old pictures showed it lost 14% of its total light over 100 years. Every normal answer that scientists threw at the wall has completely missed the mark. Some guessed it was a massive swarm of icy comets blocking the view, but you would need a truly insane number of comets to make that happen. Others guessed thick dust clouds were proposed, but the heat readings did not match at all. People thought about floating space trash, but the shapes did not fit the math. Every guess fixed one part of the puzzle, but broke another. Based on my research, the creepiest part about Boyajian star is the one idea that still works after everything else failed: an artificial alien megastructure. This would be a giant machine built around the star by a super smart alien race. Pieces of this giant machine would randomly block huge chunks of the light from the star as they spin around it. Scientists do not like this idea. It forces us to believe in aliens we have not seen yet. However, this idea has never been proven wrong. Astronomer Jason Wright brought up the alien machine idea. He said we should only think about aliens when all normal space rules fail. Well, it has been over 10 years. The normal rules keep failing. The star keeps fading in ways I cannot map or predict. Something is spinning around it and I do not know what. Number 4. The hum of the universe. In 2023, space experts working with the Nanograv team made a huge announcement. They found something no human had ever felt before. They found a deep low vibration spreading through all of space and time. It is a slow and steady wave measured in years, not seconds. They proved that the entire universe is humming. It took 15 years of watching dead stars all over the galaxy to find this out. These dead stars spin like perfect clocks. They shoot out radio. They shoot out radio flashes that hit Earth with exact timing down to billionths of a second. Scientists watched how this timing changed just a tiny bit over more than 10 years. By doing this, they mapped out giant gravity waves moving through space between us and those dead stars. The waves were totally real. The universe itself was moving. I do not fully understand what makes this deep space hum. The best guess right now is that it comes from giant black holes all over space. These are pairs of black holes spinning around each other so slowly that one circle takes millions of years. As they fall toward a giant crash, they stretch and squeeze the fabric of space itself. This sends waves pushing out at the speed of light. If you add up all the waves from all those black hole pairs in the universe, it would sound exactly like the deep hum we found. But this is still just a guess. The sound has some weird details that do not perfectly match crashing black holes. Because of this, some experts are looking at other ideas. Some think it could be cosmic strings. These are tiny cracks in space left over from the Big Bang. Or it could be ancient gravity waves from the very start of time. Or maybe wild shifts in the young universe that dumped crazy amounts of energy into space. Any of these things could be making the hum. I do not know which one is true or how they mix together. The creepiest thing about this universal hum is what it actually means. For you and me. You are swimming inside it right now. Gravity waves as wide as light years are. These waves are passing right through your body at this very second. They are stretching and squeezing the empty space between your atoms. The changes are too small for you to feel, but they are completely real. The whole universe is playing a background note. Something massive is making it. I can hear the song loudly, but I cannot find the singer. Number 3. The axis of evil. When scientists made a detailed map of the leftover glow from the Big Bang, they expected to see totally random bumps all over the sky. This is a core rule of space science. It says the universe should look pretty much the exact same in every single direction. There should be no special line. There should be no clear cosmic up or down. But what they actually found was a pattern so shocking that a space expert named it the axis of evil. The name stuck in all the science books. The map of the ancient space glow showed that the biggest hot and cold spots all line up perfectly with each other. Even weirder, they line up perfectly with the flat spinning path of our own solar system. It looks like the whole universe knows exactly which way our planet spins. This should be totally impossible. That ancient space glow was created 380,000 years after the universe began. This was way before Earth or our sun ever existed. The pattern was frozen in time from the very dawn of history. There is no normal physical reason why ancient light from the baby universe would line up with a star system that would not even be born for another 9 billion years. And yet the crazy pattern is right there. Many different teams have checked the math and proved it is real. The odds of this happening just by pure random luck are less than 1 in 10,000. People have offered a few ideas to explain it. They checked the machines for errors and found none. They checked if dust from our galaxy was messing up the view and ruled that out too. Some experts think this weird line points out a massive hole in all of our space math. It might mean the universe is not the same in all directions. Our idea of cosmic balance might be totally wrong when you look at the big picture. Other scientists think our visible universe was stamped with a set direction at the exact moment it was born. We just do not know why. But there is an even creepier idea that most scientists hate to talk about out loud. If the axis of evil is truly real, it means our exact spot in space is deeply connected to the biggest structure of reality itself. It means the ancient light of the universe knew about us before we even existed. We do not know how this is physically possible. We only know that the weird pattern is there, that it should not be there, and that every single normal answer has failed. Number 2. Dark matter. In 1933, a space expert named Fritz Zwicky was looking at a giant group of about 1,000 galaxies all locked together by gravity. He measured how fast these galaxies were moving and found something literally impossible. The galaxies were moving way too fast. All the visible stars in that group did not have enough gravity to hold things together. At those crazy speeds, the galaxies should have ripped apart billions of years ago. Something extra was adding a massive amount of gravity. It was something we could not see. He called it dark matter. For decades, nobody really cared about his huge discovery. Then in the 1970s, astronomer Vera Rubin measured how fast single galaxies spin. She found the exact same weird problem. Stars on the outer edges of galaxies were spinning way faster than their gravity should allow. Every single galaxy she looked at needed a giant pile of invisible stuff just to hold itself together. This was not a math mistake or a local glitch. It was happening everywhere in the universe. Right now, experts think dark matter makes up about 27% of everything in space. Normal matter, like the stuff that builds stars and planets and humans, makes up less than 5% of the universe. All the things we can actually see are just a tiny slice of reality. The rest is totally invisible. I cannot spot it directly. I cannot catch it in a jar. I do not know what kind of atoms it uses. For 90 years, experts have been hunting for tiny pieces of dark matter. They built the most sensitive trap machines in human history. They buried them deep underground inside mines to block out random space static. They filled the traps with strange heavy liquids and watched them day and night. After decades of searching, they have found absolutely nothing. Every single guess about what dark matter is made of has been proven wrong by strict testing. The math of dark matter works perfectly to explain how galaxies spin, but the actual dark stuff simply refuses to show its face. The creepiest thing about dark matter. The creepiest thing is how clueless it proves we are. Our entire universe is ruled by a heavy ghost we cannot see or touch or measure. It flies right through your body non-stop. Trillions of dark matter pieces are drilling right through the earth and right through your chest right now. They hit nothing and leave zero clues. But without this heavy ghost stuff, galaxies would fall apart. Stars would never catch fire. You and I would not exist. Reality is sitting on top of a giant invisible floor. And after 90 years of digging, I still have no clue what that floor is made of. Number 1. Dark energy. In 1998, two different teams of space experts were measuring how fast the universe was growing. They expected to find exactly what everyone already believed. They thought the grand push of the Big Bang was finally slowing down. They figured the gravity of all the galaxies was pulling everything back together. The only question left was how fast the slowing process was happening. The math would tell us if the universe would eventually crash back into a tiny point, or just float outward forever in the cold dark. But the numbers made zero sense. The growing push was not slowing down at all. It was actually speeding up. Something invisible was shoving the universe apart with incredible power. It was easily beating all the gravity of all the stars that have ever lived. This phantom force was totally hidden from our machines. But it was completely controlling the shape of reality on the biggest scale. The teams checked their math for years. The scary numbers were right. The universe is blasting outward faster and faster. Something massive is driving the engine. Scientists named this ghost engine dark energy. This name is just a fancy way of saying we have absolutely no idea what it is. We call it dark because it is completely invisible. We call it energy because it acts like a giant spring pushing outward from every single inch of empty space. Right now, experts calculate that dark energy makes up roughly 68% of everything in the universe. It is the absolute king of reality, and I still do not know what it is. Every time we try to do the basic math for dark energy, it completely falls apart. The deepest rules of quantum science say that totally empty space should hum with a specific amount of power. But when experts run the numbers, their answer is 120 zeros bigger than what we actually see in real life. That is literally the worst guess in the whole history of science. The gap between the math and reality is so massive that it means our basic rules are completely broken. Either my ideas about the quantum world are wrong, or my ideas about gravity are wrong, or maybe both are dead wrong. But the most terrifying part is not that I am clueless about what dark energy is. The real horror is what dark energy is actually doing. The pushing speed is not staying flat. New clues show the phantom push might be getting stronger as time goes on. If this keeps happening, dark energy will easily defeat every other force in nature. It will rip apart groups of galaxies, then single galaxies, then our solar system, then planets, then atoms, then the tiny pieces inside the atoms. The actual fabric of space and time will be stretched out faster than the speed of light itself. Nothing will be strong enough to hold on to anything else. Scientists call this doom the Big Rip. Some models warn this could happen in just 22 billion years. Keep in mind, the universe is already 13.8 billion years old. You and I are living right in the middle of a story. We cannot see the author. We cannot understand the engine. And the final chapter is already carved into the cold math of our reality. The most powerful king of the cosmos is something I do. Something I do not understand at all, and it is slowly tearing everything to pieces. Please remember that all the information in this video is only for your reference. Viewer discretion is advised. Also, none of this is meant to be used as any kind of financial decision or advice. If you enjoyed taking this deep dive with me, please hit the subscribe button to join my YouTube channel. I would love to explore more cosmic mysteries with you.